What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's So Dev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. If this is your first time, welcome. Love that for you. If you're returning, you're iconic. Honestly, everybody is just simply amazing, boo. Okay, so y'all know we got tea to get into, but before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, especially YouTube. We kind of popping over there, okay? Girl, now look, you know what today is giving. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. What you do is always appreciated and never taken for granted. Although sometimes it may feel like it. Now, I hope everything today is just peachy. I love that. It's giving sweet. It's giving juicy. You know what I mean? It's giving quality. It's a peachy Mother's Day today. Now, you know, last year we did a Mary Berry Mother's Day. And honestly, that was so iconic. So I was like, you know what? I got to follow up with something that is just, fitting. And I felt like peach is something so different, but also like just the way that the colors work and the way that I can kind of do stuff with different flavors of peach, whether it's in actual food, like, like a meal that's dinner or a meal that's for breakfast or a dessert. There's several things that you can do with peach, not only just the flavor in the fruit, but the color. I'm thinking how, this peach color may blend in with the balloons, with the flowers and all of that stuff. So I'm just thinking how the overall theme can be brought to life, and it's giving. It's definitely giving. So let's start off with the baking first of all. I'm very excited about the baking because I'm going to do things, pretty much the same, but kind of also different, just some things that I haven't tried before. So I'm definitely looking at doing a peach French toast. I'm very excited about that. I want to do a peach reduction sauce as well as, cook up some peaches as well, just put on top of the French toast. So I'm really excited about that. I think that French toast is going to be amazing. And I'm also going to use Hawaiian French toast. Well, French bread, I should say. Girl, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I like to use the Texas toast type bread, and they have that in Hawaiian. So I would like to use that to really complement the peach flavoring and the sweetness of the overall French toast. So that is what's going to be for the breakfast. Now, for dinner, we're going to be doing, look, I am essentially cooking for my mother and other mothers who are around, and I'm thinking with my peach reduction sauce that I want to have that on my salmon. So I'm going to do a cute, salmon, Brussels sprout, protein bowl type thing for dinner. And I'm thinking again that peach sauce on top of the salmon actually just may be so complimentary. You know what I mean? Just like a little like honey type peach type thing that you kind of like maybe drizzle have on top. It's nothing like putting it in barbecue sauce or teriyaki sauce or anything like that. Just something to really complement it and to also give it some peach flavoring. So I'm considering that. What I'm also going to do, and this doesn't have anything to do with peach, I just make this every year because it is my mom's favorite thing. I make the chicken lettuce wraps, and I don't make them like P.F. Chang's. I make them my own way with my green onions, with my carrots, with my chicken, with my pineapple, with my ginger. Like, I just kind of do my own thing. And I use fresh butter lettuce. I know I said I was starting off with baking, but obviously we're just getting into everything at this point, girl. Everything in a row. Because, like, differentiating the dinner, the breakfast, and the desserts, they're all peach and it's all sweet. So like in my head, it's all like one thing. Normally I will do like an Easter baking or a bubble baking or a bubble, you know what I mean? I've done a Mother's Day baking, but I've turned the Mother's Day baking into a Mother's Day themed day of everything being a part of that theme cohesively. So I'm literally just realizing I'm running off at the mouth talking about things that aren't a dessert. And I said I was starting off with bacon, girl, but it is what it is, because, the peach French toast and, the peach reduction sauce that's going to be going on the salmon, it's really it's giving cohesiveness. So it's all just kind of like one thing to me. But I definitely think that the meals themselves will chew. I mean, it's a great appetizer with the chicken lettuce wraps. It's literally the best appetizer. It's super light. The butter lettuce is just wonderfully tender, and I just think that the whole thing is fantastic. What I don't use is water chestnuts because I don't like that shit. I actually ended up using carrots instead of water chestnuts, and honestly, it's a great substitute. So we have our peach French toast breakfast, we have our chicken lettuce wraps for our appetizer, and we have our salmon Brussels sprouts and our protein bowl type meal with our peach reduction sauce. That's going to be what we're going to be serving for the meal. We got into the meal before the dessert, bitch. Like, what is going on? But look, the desserts are honestly giving. I'm doing something different, and I'm actually quite excited about it. I'm making a peach oatmeal bar. Now, I've never made an oatmeal bar before. I'm very curious about it. I mean, I eat oatmeal bars myself, but I've never actually thought to make an oatmeal bar myself. But I keep buying them bitches from the store. If I don't make them motherfuckers you know what? No, sick of it. So, it's going to be kind of like a spiced peach. We're going to have our brown sugars. We're going to have our cinnamons and our spices and all of that stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to really make the flavor pop out and also add that spice to it. I think that spice is really going to kind of give it like this peach cobbler almost kind of like feel to it, which I'm really excited about that. I think the oatmeal bar is definitely it is out of my comfort zone, but it's not something that's too far out there to where it's like, oh my God, I've never tried this before. I'm terrified and it's going to come out horrible. Like, no, I think that on the first try, I'm legitimately probably going to have this come out the way that I want it to, especially just because, the past couple of years, you've seen me do 1,000,000,001 things in one holiday, and I've reduced what I'm doing. I've reduced the amount, and now I'm focusing on the quality of the items. So over the last year, it's honestly just been getting better to have just 3 things and focus on that, because I used to be baking about 6, 7 different things. And I used to be up until 5, 6 in the fucking morning. It will not be happening today. Okay? So, we are definitely ahead of the curve right now. And I think, especially with the oatmeal bar that's not going to take long at all. It is going to take some time, but it's not going to take long. So I think that, minimizing the time with the oatmeal bar will give me more time to focus on the other things. Now, a Peachy Mother's Day, right? Oatmeal bar is kind of giving healthy. So we have our peach oatmeal bar, and then we're going to get into our peach ring cookies. Oh, bitch. My peach ring cookies. Oh, yeah. It's going down with that motherfucker. Listen, Linda. That motherfucker's going down. Do you hear me? That cookie is about to chew. And I do mean literally. Like, the care and the love and the time that I'm putting into this cookie is going crazy. Now, I made a bubblegum cake not too long ago, and I'm not going to tell you how I made it. I made the entire shit from scratch, and it actually was the best cake I ever made, and I've really figured out my own recipe, and that's exactly what I'm doing with this cookie. But I like to do an infused milk. I use milk in all of my stuff. I use milk and I use butter. I don't use oil and I don't use water. I don't. It just brings the quality of my items out so much better. But I do an infused milk. If I'm making a flavored cake, I'm infusing everything that I'm using because I want every ounce of that flavor to pop, to come out. I want you to taste it. The bubblegum cake I made, literally, and I shit you not, I'm not joking, it tasted like Hubba Bubba melting in my mouth. I didn't actually believe it. I had other people tell me that it tasted like that. And I was like, huh? You're lying. You're just saying that. And I tasted that bitch. And it actually tastes like Hubba Bubba in my motherfucking mouth. I was like, oh shit, hold on. Okay. So that was absolutely iconic. And I think it just really laid down the groundwork for me to be able to make my items better going forward, the flavor specifically, because I remember I made a heart-shaped cake for Valentine's Day 2 years ago, and I didn't have cotton candy flavor, blah, 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 blah. I wanted to know how to make that cake cotton candy without having the cotton candy extracts and stuff like that. So I tried to use actual cotton candy and several different cotton candy flavored things to really bring it out. But it really just tasted like vanilla still with a hint of cotton candy. And I didn't like that. So now I'm really to a point to where I'm like, the flavor's got to be popping. If the flavor's not popping, then it just tastes like, vanilla or white cake with a hint of something. And that's not what I want. I need the flavor to really be embodied inside this bakery item. So I'm definitely going to be using peach extract for sure. Not too much, but just enough. I'm going to infuse the milk with some peach. I'm going to infuse the milk with some candy and just go from there. I would love to tell you my entire process and my entire recipe, but I can't give this shit away. There's going to be a point in time, probably by the end of this year, where I do have all of my recipes linked under my own website, and those will be most likely notarized, everything that needs to be done, whatever the case may be. Did I say notarized? Anyway, you know what the fuck I mean. Anyway, but we're definitely going to make sure that we have the legality of it all done and squared away. That's the main thing that I want to make sure that I take care of, because when I throw my recipes out there, I don't want everybody just snatching up my recipes. I don't want to speak on my podcast and just throw out my recipes, because what the fuck do I have for myself? I have several recipes of myself, and I also have family recipes that I need to make sure are protected at the end of the day before I just go ahead and share all of these, because I've had my own cookbook since high school. Legitimately, I've had my own cookbook since high school. So now it's kind of like, okay, now we're getting into the time where we can start releasing these. Just like, I was going to start a baking YouTube in high school, but I never actually did. It wasn't the right time for those things, but now it is. And now it's time to execute those in the proper way. So that is exactly what we're going to do. I'm excited about this peach ring candy cookie, so to speak. I think that it's definitely going to be one of my best cookies. I think it is going to be a kid's favorite. And I think, again, because of the love and care that I'm putting inside of this, I'm going to make sure that the cookie itself does have the actual candy inside of it. And I want to make sure that the milk has the actual candy flavor. So outside of that peach extract, I really need to make sure that I blend up that candy with the milk. It's the same thing that I essentially did with the bubblegum. If you want your flavor to stick, honestly, make your bases infused. Like, obviously, I'm not going to infuse my butter with peach, but I get to infuse my milk, right? I get to directly infuse the batter. So these are kind of different things to really make that flavor kind of pop in your bakery item. So that's what I'm doing. Now, we've got our peach oatmeal bar and our peach ring cookies. Now, the last thing I'm going to make is a peaches and cream cake. Now, it's going to be the most simplest cake, honestly. There's no need, genuinely, no need to have a crazy type cake. There's genuinely just no need. So I think I'm going to do a nice peach color cake inside and out. And I think that I'm going to cut up some fresh peaches and decorate the top of it. I have some beautiful sprinkles that are going to match, and I'm just going to make this cake fairly simple. I don't think it needs to be insanely decorated. I've done insanely decorated in the past, and I just don't think that that's required every time. So we're definitely going to decorate this in the most authentic way that I know how. And I mean, we have to be serious. When it comes to me baking cakes, there's no way for me to know how this cake is going to come out until I'm in the moment. Because anything that I have planned for this cake, it's not going to be what I decide to it's not going to be what I decide to do in the last minute. I change my mind all the time. I change my mind in the middle of baking. I change my mind at the end of baking. I change my mind when I think it's over, because I see several different ways that I can make this better, or I also see where it's lacking and I may need to change a little something. So, that's just kind of, I let the cakes be until they're done and I start decorating. I have to have these ideas in my head because they guide me as I bake. I know that the idea of the cake that I have, that's not the route I'm going to take, but I need some sort of groundwork laid down so I know which direction I'm going in, essentially. So it's just a nice prep for me. I think all bakers do that, to be honest. I think when a baker bakes that cake, they have their decorating materials ready. They already got an idea of how they're going to bake it. And then they're like, you know what? This works better. And it's probably an idea that's been sitting in their head that they weren't even considering doing right now. But they're like, you want to know what? This may work out. And that is just the creative mind of a baker. Like, that in that moment decision, 9 times out of 10, although impulsive, it's probably going to be a great decision. Because, again, in that moment, you see how you can really manipulate this cake into being what you want it to be, or you can manipulate it into being something that you haven't really considered. You're like, oh, I'm going to try this later. Maybe it's too risky. Maybe I don't want to try it on this cake. But, bitch, maybe you're feeling confident. I don't know. So that is the whole spiel on how I essentially just prepare to decorate my cake. I mean, there's no way to know. You just have to trust the process as you go. Because, things happen. A baker is so creative because you never know. Right? You never fucking know what's going to happen. Something go wrong. Maybe you put a little too much, a little too less. Maybe the oven wasn't right. Like, who knows? And it is your job to adjust. And I think that after years of experience, a bitch just knows how to adjust. I do. I'm like always prepared, because if I see that cake is maybe even a little lopsided, oh, it's a wrap, baby. I will remove that and redo it. Respectfully. I like it to be presentable. If it's not presentable to me, I'm not happy. Well, and it is not an easy task, I'll tell you that now. So that is really all that I'm doing for Mother's Day. I know I said that like I'm only doing 2 things. Like, we're getting our peach French toast. We're doing our chicken lettuce wrap. We're doing our salmon and Brussels sprout protein bowl with a little peach reduction. We're going to do our peach oatmeal bar. We're going to do our peach ring cookies. And we're going to do our peaches and cream cake. I'm really excited about it. I've honestly just perfected my homemade buttercream recipe, which is crazy, because what the fuck do you mean I made homemade buttercream? I really did, and it tastes so good. I'm not even joking. It tastes so good, and it's taken me so long to actually get a good buttercream recipe going. It's been very difficult. So the fact that I do have that and I can use that for my cakes, it's fantastic. So I plan to be using that. It actually holds on the cake. it stands. So that way it's just not falling, and the cake does look presentable. You know, the frosting has enough thickness to it to where it's not just sliding off the cake. I live in Vegas. It's hot. The kitchen gets hot in 2 seconds, which means decorating is hell sometimes. You gotta wait for that bitch to cool off. So, y'all, come on now. You know it's giving Peachy. It's giving Peachy Mother's Day. It absolutely is. Everything is just peachy. And I think everything is giving quality. I think everything is giving unique. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to seeing how everything is going to come out. Mary Berry Mother's Day came out fantastic. And that is an understatement. So I'm just really excited to see how this is going to be. I appreciate you, by the way. Thank you for listening to the That's Sowdev podcast, where you stay true and stay you, boo. Isn't that iconic? Now, I'm going to go hop off here because y'all know I got 1,000,001 things to do, okay? Especially for Mother's Day. So again, I do appreciate you. And again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you drink some water, eat some good food, take care of yourself, because we have a lot going on in this world. If you don't put yourself first, who the hell will? Exactly. Be serious. Go eat you some good food. I'm not playing. You better drink that water. I'm not playing. Shit. All right, y'all. No problem. I'm hopping off here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.